Welcome to episode 4 of the Six Man Pod. We're back. Lots of stuff. We did 2 episodes the other week.
Yeah, we did.
And then there was lots of stuff going on.
Right.
But this one, there's a lot of stuff since last time too.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So let's get right into it. I've been really pissed. This season was never going to be perfect. Just like how last season in the bubble, the latter half of the season in the bubble, there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of BS. And our feelings about the Raptors playing in Tampa Bay. I hate it.
It's not great.
Yeah, I hate it. Obviously, we got to keep everybody safe here in Canada. We're doing everything smart. There's a reason why we're better than America. But, the Raptors are playing in Tampa Bay. They're playing in Florida with a bunch of COVID idiots down there.
They're all there right now.
Camp's about to start. Mm-hmm. And, people like to have fun online. The Tampa Raptors, we the South, whatever. I'm not salty about that. Like, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But there are, and I think that what pees me off the most is the Raptors fans that are, like, so on board with the Tampa thing. I'm like, you're Toronto Raptors fans. You're Toronto Raptors fans. There's nothing to be excited about them playing in Tampa Bay. There's nothing to be excited about them playing in Tampa Bay.
It's like the worst possible outcome that we could have ever had.
Yeah. And the first thing is there's a growing number of people, Toronto fans. And listen, the ignorance of people that aren't Toronto fans, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But there are Toronto fans that want to put a Tampa Bay patch on their jersey. Like what happened when, Hurricane Katrina came whipping through New Orleans and they went and played in OKC. Different situation. They played there for like multiple years and they didn't even know if they were going to have the team back there again. And the team was already in limbo. So it's like the Raptors aren't in limbo. Third largest city in North America.
Yeah.
One of the biggest markets. The Raptors aren't going anywhere. They're money makers. They have a huge organization behind them. So this patch idea, I think the patch is a fucking stupid idea. What do you think?
What if they make it look really, really cool?
I don't care if they make it look cool.
Yeah.
The Raptors jerseys already look cool enough to me. We don't need another patch. We already have the stupid sponsor patches on the jerseys.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Like, it's just the Toronto Raptors moving to Tampa Bay. It's not like the teams,
No.
like the organization is moving down there. And
it's
what
like
happens halfway throughout the year if we get a vaccine and, and then they can play in Toronto again?
Yeah, I think the general goal right now, and nobody really knows for certain, and nor would they, but like the goal I think is to have the playoffs back in Toronto if they can do it. And this isn't like the Jays didn't have a Buffalo jersey or whatever when they played in Buffalo, right? The Jays?
Yeah.
They didn't have a Buffalo Jays jersey.
No, they didn't. People talked about stuff. Like, it's the same thing. People talked about it. I just don't even get why that's a conversation.
No.
You
also,
know?
that goes hand in hand with they don't really have any information yet if they're going to let fans in the arena.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
in
think
the
they
NFL,
should.
Do they in Florida?
Yeah, I think, but I don't.
Yeah, they must. It's like
the thing here is optics. If you're, and again, it's a different country, but if you're not going to let them play here, and you're definitely not going to let them have fans in the arena, how is it okay to go down there and have fans in the arena? And it's not even fans of your own team.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's a ton of Canadians that live in Florida.
Sure. Yeah.
There's tons of Canadians that live all across the world. So you're definitely going to have Raptors fans. We have Raptors fans. We're one of the organizations that actually commentators make note of. Like when you go to other cities, you see a ton of Raptors fans. Detroit, you see a ton of Raptors fans. Golden State, you see a ton of Raptors fans.
Also because their tickets are fucking wildly expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like this idea of having a patch. I think it's stupid. And one step up level of just mental idiocy is the idea of having a special edition Tampa jersey, which somebody made up a mock-up of a baby blue with pink. Like, we're basically just knocking off the Heat jersey and fuck the Heat.
Yeah.
We're not having a Tampa Raptors jersey. First of all, just from a pure business standpoint, they just redesigned the jerseys and probably spent millions of dollars redesigning the jerseys for this season. So they're not doing a Tampa jersey, nor should they ever. No special edition. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, it's just we already have the sickest jerseys in the league. So
We have one of the best marketing campaigns. We have everything. We don't
we
need
don't
that.
we don't need Tampa Bay. It would just poison the waters.
Yeah, and you know, you can call us salty if you want, but I don't really care. Like,
no,
you've already, forced our hand by putting the team down there.
yeah,
Don't expect anybody to really be happy or willing to want to make a jersey or put a patch on it of some random city. Like, the city wasn't picked because the Raptors, or anybody in the organization was like, Tampa Bay is the best place for the organization. It's simply they wanted to go play there because it was warm.
yeah,
If they had to pick somewhere else to go, they were going to pick somewhere warm.
yeah, for sure.
Which I think is still a stupid and arbitrary point, but whatever. They're the ones playing, so they can go down there and walk along the beach. I'll just say one last thing before we move into other things. They just tested everybody, and 8% of the league came back COVID positive.
Yeah, there was 50 people in a week that had COVID.
It's not going to get better there.
No. Well, I mean, once you're out of the bubble format, these guys are wild.
Yeah.
They're going to rippers. They're probably having prostitutes. I don't know. They like partying.
Yeah.
And they have money beyond their wildest, imagination.
Yeah, and they think they're safe. They're wearing their masks, but they're not. One of the things is you're not set up to succeed in America because there's no rules and regulations in half these places. So it's like, well, if there's no rules and regulations, they say it's fine. I'm going to go do it. You're getting a new president in January, but it's not going to immediately solve the issue of, government failure to combat the disease. We even struggle here in areas in Canada getting this shit under control. So it's like,
for sure, yeah.
I think not just from a Raptors perspective, but from a league perspective, it's not good. You're going to have a ton of people out all year long. You're going to miss crucial games, crucial stretches with people having COVID.
Yeah, the other thing is that even when we had the bubble, people wouldn't listen to the rules and stuff. You know, they were still going outside and going to rippers, and
a lot of these kids are barely college educated or high school educated.
Yeah,
and it's not a stereotype, and it doesn't matter. But a lot of these guys that played in the league, I think first to admit they're not the smartest people. No. There are some smart ones, and there are people that will be responsible and respectful.
Definitely.
But you got to admit, even the players, like JJ Redick said on his podcast, they're not going to follow the rules.
No. Like what you said, there's just a lot of stupid people in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not just the NBA too. There's stupid
it's just life.
People. It's, yeah, especially with athletes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hockey players are meatheads. Football players, pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Basketball players, it's
same
not
shit.
different.
Yeah, same shit. So, to put a cork in it, no Tampa Bay jerseys or patches.
We think that's dumb.
That's dumb. COVID, not surprising. Expected, probably going to get worse.
COVID sucks.
COVID sucks.
That's what we got to say. Hot first take here, COVID sucks.
COVID sucks. So, on to the next thing, some of our new players. There was a lot of movement in our team. It happened a lot later than some of the other teams, but it's almost to be expected by the Raptors. We don't really play by anybody else's rules. We don't leak a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So the big one, I think, if we were talking about it, obviously past the whole, Serge and Mark leaving, our biggest signing was probably Aron Baynes.
Yeah, Baynes train.
Baynes sanity. So Baynes, we kind of briefly talked about it, but he comes out of playing good stints in Phoenix, playing stints in Boston. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's built like a brick shit house.
Solid. Yeah, exactly. Brick shit house. He has a good three.
Yeah. Good for his size.
Good for his size. Probably could improve if he really wanted it to be. In a lot of ways, listen, I'm a huge, and there was a lot of people that have been critical of Marc Gasol in his 1.5 years here, but I was a big supporter of Marc Gasol as a fan of the game and actually watching the game. Marc Gasol did a lot to change and alter the game, not only his defensive ability, but his ability to be a great outlet passer and really kind of be that person in the center where he'd trap that off or that opposing defense and pass that ball out for an open shot. Baynes maybe isn't that, but Baynes offers a lot of stuff that we need. We need somebody who's going to crash the boards. We need somebody who's going to be able to hit an open 3-point if we pass it up. unlike what Mark was able to do last year. So Baynes, I think, is in a lot of ways an improvement in a lot of the areas that the Raptors need to improve in. I think we'll be fine defensively. I think we needed to up our offensive power.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
So Baynes is there. Some other ones, DeAndre Bembry, again, for people unfamiliar with him, he's a first-rounder from 2016, but he never really had one full healthy season.
Yeah, where did he play? Atlanta?
Atlanta, yeah. And, like, overall, his three-point shot has gotten worse since he's been in the league.
It happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of us. And, you know, he's a decent energy defender. A lot of people, from what I've gathered and what I've seen, suggest that he's an overrated defender because, again, that team doesn't defend. They're a garbage shoot of a team. So it's like anybody who can play any lick of defense looks good. So I think he's more of an energy defender. He's active, which is all you can ask for. And he'll get better in a scheme like Nick Nurse's where you're asked to be a defender above anything else. I think you'll see some improvement there. He's long. And I think he's looking to take up the Rondé Hollis-Jefferson type role since Rondé Hollis-Jefferson went and signed his deal with Minnesota.
Yeah, true. And I just want to say first thing about this guy is when you look up DeAndre and, like, he doesn't even show up on the first. When you Google DeAndre, he doesn't even show up on the first page.
No, this guy's not.
What was his contract like? A couple million? It wasn't big.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like minimum type deal.
Yeah.
Listen, he's the type of project that you take on that you could get some decent rewards from, but you're not expecting anything from him. I like him. He's got a good head on his shoulders. His interviews have been good. He wants to fit in here. He wants to do well. Some of the beat guys from Atlanta said that they were one of the go-to guys. He was one of the go-to guys to talk to. He was always good, good with the media and things like that. Good story. Tragic story. He wears 95, and everybody's like, yeah, the Raptors 95, it makes sense, blah, blah, blah. But he wears 95 because his brother, just weeks before he was drafted, his brother was shot and killed, and he was born in 95, God, so that's why he wears the 95. He does a lot of work in the community to raise awareness around gun violence and things like that. So, like, he's a kid with a solid head on his shoulders. He's a character guy that fits in with the ethos that we have here at the Raptors, so I want him to do well. And the motherfucker changes his hair a lot.
Yeah, he does.
He's got dreads right now. He's had an afro. Him and Boucher, man.
Yeah, they're going to be close.
They're going to be buddies. They like to change their hair. Boucher, man, that's one ugly motherfucker.
He's not a looker.
Yeah.
But I like him. He's really lanky, and he flies through the air well.
Just like Bembry, so it's like...
Yeah, I think he's a power forward too. Right?
He's a guard. He's a little bit of everything. He can kind of guard. He's best at guarding the 2-3, but he can also guard the 1.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see what he does. We'll see what Nick Nurse gives him. And then actually the next guy is Alex Len, who recently had a stint in Atlanta as well. And Bembry did say during one of his pressers recently that when Len was with Atlanta, he was actually one of the closest guys. So that's good. They have a connection. They'll be able to help each other out when they get on the new Raptors squad. So that's always good. I think one of the key things too is like not only bringing the player in, but like they need to have friends there to help them.
For sure, yeah.
Bembry's I think he's from the kind of the Philly. He went to school in Philly and stuff. So people would think maybe he had a relationship with Kyle, but from what we've gathered, not really. But there's that kind of energy there, so that's good. But more on Len. With Atlanta, he became a better defender, which is great. He's a 7-footer. He can clog the paint. And, again, he played with the Hawks and the Kings. Massive body. Good rim protector, which we haven't had in a long time. We haven't had a good rim protector, which is going to be perfect when we go up against, like, a Joel Embiid and stuff, like just throwing a body on him.
Yeah.
And before the All-Star break last year when he was playing with Atlanta, he actually led the team as a three-point shooter with a 41%.
Does that say something about him or about Atlanta?
It says something about Atlanta that they're dog shit, but it also says that Len actually has the fundamentals to be a shooter. Now, it's more of the role that you're going to see that Marc Gasol was supposed to fill. If the 3 is given to you at the top of the key or whatever, or the top of the three-point line, and you're open, take it and hit it. That's all we really need him to do, and I think he'll be able to do it. He dropped off a little bit, but he does have the fundamentals to shoot the 3.
I don't think this guy's that good. I'm watching the stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's that great. Mind you, I really don't know that much about him.
Statistically, if you want to look at him overall when he's on the court, from what I've gathered, defensively you get a bit better. Offensively, you get a bit worse. Okay.
He is weird looking Ukrainian guy. So
yeah, he's one of these like guys that like looks like every other guy that's 7 foot and white.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of part of that thing. But like,
who's that guy that's got the big ears that plays for?
Boban.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, they're kind of similar looking.
Yeah,
he's got a pinhead. So
he's a Butterfingers too. We thought we got rid of one with Serge Ibaka, but guess what? We got Alex Len now, who's worse because he's bigger and whiter, and that's bad.
Yeah,
and he is a Butterfingers.
Yeah,
so that's not good. We're gonna get frustrated because I guarantee Kyle Lowry's gonna toss him a pass. Fred VanVleet is gonna toss him a pass, and it's gonna go right through his fingers, out of bounds, and it's gonna be a fucking turnover.
To be fair, though, basketball is a hard sport.
Yeah, and just because you're 7 foot, you make it to the NBA doesn't mean you're
yeah.
So those are kind of like the big ones here. Again, we're going into camp, and the Raptors have been active to try to get somebody to fill that last roster spot. We've got O'Shea Brissett, who's everybody knows about. He's going
Canadian guy. Love our Canadians.
Yeah, and then you've got Paul Watson Jr., who the Athletic just did a good write-up on. He spent the offseason with Pascal Siakam, Kevin Durant, and things like that, guarding Durant. Like, that's a good sign. We need him. If he's that last roster spot, he's a big guy. He could back up somebody like Pascal.
Good shooting 3.
3-and-D type of guy. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So good for him. There's also people like Elise Johnson, Yuta Watanabe, and Henry Ellison, who I think Henry Ellison, they signed to a 2-way $50,000 contract. So a lot of these guys probably won't make the roster and will end up going and playing with our D-League team, or G-League as they call it now. But that's okay. Again, we need to continue to foster and build a strong next man up type thing like we've been doing, and pulling from the 905 like we've done for the last 5 years or so. You're going to see a lot of our 59th pick, Jalen Harris, down there too. He's going to be playing a lot there. And, Malachi Flynn probably won't play as much just because of our, the reason why we drafted him was to kind of come in and play. So, we have some guys coming in looking to take some steps up this year.
For sure, yeah.
Power rankings. Fuck. One thing I'll say about power rankings is they're always bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's just not as a Raptors fan, where we're consistently undervalued in power rankings. But just like, when I was a basketball fan a lot earlier in my life and the Raptors were just starting, like I watched other teams and I'd cheer for other teams too, right? And like, I would be just like, what the? These power rankings are garbage. It's stupid. And the rationale, as we're gonna go when we're going through some of these power rankings, are so stupid. So first up, NBA.com. They had us at 15.
It's not a good start to the year.
What do you think about that?
Well, they're wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
We won the goddamn championship.
Like a year ago.
A year ago.
Yeah.
NBA.com, you done us dirty.
Like, listen, there's that fucking meme out there that we didn't even make it in the top 8 last year on, what was it, TSN or some shit?
Yeah, something.
Or it was even Canadian, I think. Or it might have been ESPN.
No, it was ESPN.
It was ESPN. Yeah. We didn't even make it. Like, Atlanta.
Yeah, I know.
was number 8 on the list. So it's like, we don't get the respect, but...
Is it because we're Canadian?
Yeah. That's part of it.
Is that, like...
Because they don't get enough... We don't get
like
enough media attention. So the pundits... They don't actually watch a lot of basketball. They just see stats and they just see shit, and like they're paid to make stupid predictions. They're not made to actually make intelligent ones.
Well, yeah.
Especially
they see a guy like Zion Williamson and they go sucky, sucky, sucky.
Yeah, exactly. So their excuse in their write-up was they put us at 15 and then we're like, the Raptors are overlooked. What kind of bullshit is that? Like, if we're overlooked, then put
we
us
should
up.
be higher.
So, and I had to look at who this author was, and his name's Kyle Irving. And I thought the white, less skilled version of the superior counterpart, not that much superior, but the counterpart, Kyrie Irving. So this guy's just kind of masquerading as a white Kyrie Irving. And he's garbage, just like Kyrie Irving, but just the writer form.
Yeah, I actually just skimmed over that, and I thought you wrote...
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
This is Kyle Irving, the lesser, whiter guy.
Yeah. Weird.
So, you know what, Kyle?
Fuck you.
You're just not very good because you literally laid out in your article that we're overlooked, and then you put us at 15, like we're supposed to be higher, but you didn't do it because you didn't have the balls. Next is CBS Sports. They had us at the respectable place of 6th.
Goddamn right. Best one yet.
Which makes sense. Western Conference is stronger, so from a power ranking perspective, maybe not 6 teams, but there's a good chunk of teams in the West that are probably going to be better than us. The Lakers.
Lakers are looking good.
Lakers are looking good. They have the Clippers. The Clippers are a dysfunctional mess, so until they prove that they can actually win, I don't think they deserve to be ahead of anybody.
Yeah, the Clippers suck. Their organization is trash.
Denver is really high in the power rankings because of their playoff run. That makes sense. They're a good, solid team. Utah's a solid team. I don't know if they're better than us, but Utah is in that conversation above us. And then in the East, they have Milwaukee above us. Fair, at least in the regular season, they've had a lot of success in the regular season. They have Boston in front of us.
Yeah.
And Miami. Fair. Miami made it to the finals.
I like Miami.
You got to give them the respect of putting them at least 1 or 2 in the power rankings because they went to the finals. I get that. There's politics there. But they put us at 6, and, we did. I think one of the reasons why people think we got worse is because they haven't done any research. They saw that we lost 2 splashy names. Marc Gasol is well-respected around the league and has a big name, but he's washed up. Serge Ibaka, big, respected name, but it was a loss in a lot of ways, but I think we've done enough to fill his void there. So, but from an outsider perspective, when you lose Marc Gasol and lose Serge Ibaka and replace it with DeAndre Bembry,
and the Baynes train
and Alex Len, it might not look as good on paper, but again, they're failing to also put into account that we're expecting Pascal to be better. We're expecting Fred to be better. We're expecting OG to be better. We're expecting Kyle Lowry to still be an all-star. That in its of itself would predict that we're going to be better because those players are going to be better. Our key players are going to be better. They're still developing. They're still young.
Yeah. Are we worried about loss of meme with regards to Serge Ibaka and OG Anunoby?
I think we're going to get tons of meme from Alex Len.
You think so? I think actually we gained memes on Baynes.
We're going to get also Terrance Davis wife beater memes.
Yeah, that's
pretty dark.
That is pretty dark. But if we can pull out some weird white guy Baynes and Len action, maybe we'll get back up on the meme train.
What I'd love to see is a buddy cop thing between OG Anunoby and Alex Len, where they just sit there and say nothing to each other.
That would be horrible, but actually, it would be really good at the same time.
I'm being a little stereotypical. I don't even know. To me, Len's like a brute, and he says like 2 words, and he's from like a gulag somewhere.
Yeah.
But maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into that a little bit more. Continuing on, Canada's very own The Score has no respect for their own team and placed us at 10th.
What is The Score? Like, what's their affiliation? That's just The Score?
Just The Score.
Like, they're not a part of, like, Sportsnet?
No, they're not. They're their own thing. Look, I think The Score is great because it's like a Canadian thing. Score's cool. I like The Score. But come on, guys. You put your own team at 10, and the article didn't even have a single writer or name the writers. They just cowardly hid behind the name, The Score staff. Come on. I want to hear some names.
That's not good.
I want to hear some reasons why that the Raptors are 10. Okay? And NBC, because they fucking matter in sports, they gave us 9. But they're still talking about how we lost Kawhi Leonard.
I'm over that.
Like, listen, that was a talking point before last season. We came into this season, yes, we didn't win the championship, but I don't think, again, as we're learning more about how Kawhi's operating on the Clippers, he's that guy that's going to get you those points, but he's not the reason why solely we won this championship.
Yeah, also last year was an asterisk championship, so it doesn't even matter. This year is too.
We were better in every statistical category last year.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, fuck off with the Kawhi thing. And then, again, they were going on, you lost Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. Again, big names, but did we really lose much?
No.
And last but not least, the biggest pile of dog shit there is, ESPN, gave us 11. They legit put Philadelphia in front of us. What a joke.
That's horrible.
Philadelphia might be better than this year, but like they were not anywhere close to the caliber team that the Raptors were, or Boston, or even Miami, who was around their level in the regular season. Philly is not a good team. Guaranteed that Joel Embiid's going to get injured. Ben Simmons is going to get shipped out. Tobias Harris is going to underperform.
Yeah,
Doc Rivers is going to do dog shit.
Yeah, we don't like him.
So it's like, come on, you can't put Philly in front of us.
I'm so surprised they took Doc Rivers. They were doing that whole trust the process thing.
Yeah.
And
well, look,
they just got a bunch of criers.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand that organization. Like, I think Philly's a sick city, I think the organization, like the history of the franchise is really cool.
Yeah.
But what are you doing? You can't say trust the process and then proceed to stick your head up your own bum.
Well, look, they brought Elton Brand in to be a GM. He screwed up, and then I think got pressure to actually fix a lot of his mistakes, like signing these massive contracts to these absolute tools. So then they hire Doc Rivers, but then hire the guy that's going to run the team and the general and the president of basketball operations in terms of Daryl Morey, who they hired, which is a smart hire. Who should be hiring the coach? But they hired the coach before they hired the president of basketball operations.
Yeah.
Because obviously Morey left Houston after Doc left the Clippers, but like they're like a kid that's pumping one out a little too quick. You know, they're a two-pump chump. They're like, oh my God, Doc Rivers, oh my God.
Chumps.
They should have just brought Morey in and let him pick the coach.
Well, like, why?
It was
what
time for a
makes
coaching
you
change.
want to get Doc?
I don't know.
He just came from a team that should have theoretically won the friggin' championship.
Yeah.
Like, why? What are you doing?
Doc is overrated. Like, I watch a lot of Celtics during the Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett years, and like he's overrated. Like, he was with the Magic at one point, did okay there, got canned, went to Boston, did okay there. How can you not do okay when you have those three together? But also, if you look at his assistants roster during those years, there's a reason why. Like, he had Tom Thibodeau as his like defensive guy. He had, I'm pretty sure he had Ty Lue on that staff. He had a lot of the coaches in the NBA that are like some of the bigger assistants or some of the head coaches now were on his staff. So it's like you got to take that too into account that, Doc Rivers might be a little bit overrated. He's respected.
He looks like he yells a lot too, which I don't really like.
He's an old school guy.
He's always hoarse.
Yeah. He's an old school guy, which is as we're learning, a lot of those old school coaches are getting ousted from the NBA. So why Doc Rivers stays on is beyond me. I get his relevance to the game. I get that, in a league where there's a lot of conversation around having African-American head coaches, that's important. But, like, Doc Rivers isn't the only African-American worthy of a coaching position. There are plenty of African-American assistant coaches out there that are phenomenal and deserve a job. Adrian Griffin, right there. One of our
big
assistants.
time.
Should you have a head coach job?
They got Philly cheesesteak blindness for Doc Rivers.
So, switching gears off of the dog shit power rankings, want to just make a quick note of Chris Finch. So, like, Chris Finch has been interesting to me because Nick Nurse, obviously our head coach, great head coach, one of the best in the league, even though he's going only into his third year as the head coach. Chris Finch is a guy that he's kind of swirled around a lot. We talked about him a lot in his book that he just put out, but Nurse and Finch have a long history as opponents in England and in the D-League, as well as sharing a bench. And quietly, kind of, we brought in Finch this offseason.
Yeah.
And why I want to point it out is that I think it's pretty evident that we'll be relying on him on the offensive side of things, where his specialties and reputations lie. I think our offense needs a little bit of juice, a little bit of reworking. I think that was kind of Nate Bjorgen's type of role, but he's now the head coach of Indiana, and I think it's time for some fresh blood there. So what do you think about bringing Chris Finch in? What do you think about him maybe trying to improve the offense a little bit?
You got to trust in Nick Nurse. I think he's going to be a good asset to the team for sure. Especially, like, they wouldn't be bringing him in if it wasn't going to be something that could really advance what's going on.
Yeah, we have a very solid bench of coaching staff. Obviously, Adrian Griffin's still here. We have Sergio. We've got a good solid.
Why do they always send Sergio to do the interviews?
Yeah, that's something that I think we'll talk about a lot during the season.
Every single time.
Sergio always gets those fucking interviews during the game, and like he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, no. His English isn't great.
He's one of the best coaches out of Europe.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think they should be doing interviews during
You don't
games.
get anything from it.
Yeah, no.
They're not going to tell you the game plan.
That's what, when you watch, there's all those highlights of Pop, when they're like, so what went wrong for you in that quarter? And he's like, well, the other team put the ball in the hoop more times than we did. Then they're like, okay, thank you. And he's like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you going to ask?
It's BS.
I like, they're stupid.
I like when they send Adrian Griffin over, even though he looks like he just got caught red-handed getting a cookie out of the cookie jar.
Yeah.
He's like, his eyes are always wide. He's looking around.
Yeah.
Like when he coached that one game, Nick Nurse let him coach that game in the bubble. He looked real stressed out about it.
Yeah.
But I know he's a great coach, and the guys love him, so I think it's funny. But lastly on Finch, I think Nick Nurse said just recently, I think he's one of the best offensive minds in the NBA, so we're lucky to have him.
Should we say that in Nick Nurse voice? I think he's one. No, I can't. I think he's one of the best offensive minds. I'm trying to sound hoarse and from Illinois. Or where's he from? Yeah, Illinois. Iowa. I think he's one of the best offensive minds in the NBA, so we're lucky to have him. That's my Nick Nurse impression.
Good.
It'll get better as these go on. I'll
Right.
keep working on them.
And next, we're wrapping up here. Terrance Davis. We talked about him a little bit.
Yeah.
The poor bugger.
It's a bummer.
He actually, you know what? Fuck
It's
him.
a bummer for
His
the
wife.
organization.
For his wife
and
that
his
he beat.
wife. I think that's a piece of shit move.
Or girlfriend
TD.
or whatever. Basically, people were asking about it in the pressers that Bobby Webster and Nick Nurse gave. They were asked about what's the status of Terrance Davis, and they gave non-answers. And listen, that's fair because
What are you going to say?
the league has to lead this investigation as per the rules. And the contract guaranteed because they weren't going to cut him loose without figuring out. And that's fair, I think. You know, obviously these are still accusations. The contract, it's unfortunate how it laid out. You have to guarantee the contract by a certain day, and the investigation isn't ending until after that guarantee happens. So Terrance Davis is currently on the roster. If it's deemed that he ended up beating up the partner there, I think you won't see him, and we'll just have to lose that money. But, like, the dude deserves zero respect. Even coming back, listen, even if he's innocent, it's not a good look.
No, it's not. It's not what the organization is about. It's not what the NBA is about. Like, it's just
you put the organization and your teammates in a bad position.
Yeah.
Because if they could have just got rid of him, we could have had another player in that role.
I could see TD as a hothead for sure. Like and also I was looking at his Instagram comments like just an hour ago, and there's all these people that are like, man, life's got you down. You just got to keep your head up and keep grinding, and you'll get life's got you down. You were beating your wife. What do you mean life's got you down?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's bananas.
People justify that type of shit, and, like, it's stupid. Just don't beat people. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. Just don't beat people. Use your words. Don't
Fuck
use your
you.
hands. Like,
I hope that you're not playing this year.
Yeah, and it sucks because you were a promising player, but as we said,
but what are you gonna do?
Screw it.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
And last, just to put the cherry on top of the shit cake,
Yeah.
the Christmas Day game. They released the tentative schedule for the Christmas Day games for the NBA, and surprise, surprise, we didn't get a Christmas game.
Yeah. We had one last year.
Listen, last year's, though, honestly, was pretty rough.
Oh, we got our ass kicked by
the
Boston.
Yeah, exactly. So,
oh, that was horrible. I remember watching that, and it was like it just ruined my Christmas.
The
Like,
matchups
so
are
excited.
shit, though, dude. The matchups are shit.
Yeah.
You've got the Pelicans, because, of course,
Zion. Love that guy. Hashtag Zion suck from ESPN.
versus the Heat, because that's totally a rivalry that we need to watch on Christmas Day. There's no rivalry there.
So, you know, he weighs 200. He's 6'6", and he weighs 280 pounds.
The dude is obese. And
That's huge.
Yeah, and no wonder he gets injured.
Aron Baynes, the Baynes trains. He's 260 and he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Next up is the Celtics in the Nets, which, listen, there's star power there. The Celtics got a good team. They got a lot of star power. And the Nets, you know, Kyrie Irving. And
That's just a bitch matchup. Bitches against bitches.
Again, but there's no pre-existing rivalry there. So it's like, I don't care about that. Next is the Clippers and the Nuggets. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the Clippers-Lakers would be a great matchup, but remember, we got to think about last year's playoffs when the Clippers got completely manhandled by Denver. And that was the nail in the coffin.
I loved that.
Yeah, I do too. Jamal Crawford,
Yeah.
good Canadian boy, good Canadian suck on the Instagram when he leaked that video. So Praise up to him.
Oh yeah, did he got a blowjob?
Yeah, and he leaked the blowjob tape and said, "Oh, I didn't mean to." He said it was hacked.
Blowjob guy, love that.
He went off.
It's too bad he's not playing in Tampa.
Exactly.
He's probably wishing he was on the Raptors.
And then you've got Golden State versus the Bucks. Listen, cool, Giannis versus Steph, but again, there's no real big history here. It's not like Golden State went up against the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a disappointing, especially for Raptors fans.
And the Mavs Lakers, both good teams. I like them, but like again, nothing that really.
That's probably going to be the one, like the best one.
Maybe. I think the Clippers Nuggets is going to be a good one too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'd like to see the Lakers go up against the Celtics. Just make it a good old time.
Yeah.
Rivalry one. At least there's something pre-coded there that they have a rivalry, like a massive rivalry. The Lakers and the Mavs, they have they're both West Conference teams. They've both been at the top of their conference. They battled a lot in the playoffs, but not this current iteration.
Yeah.
So overall, the Christmas Day schedule I think is dog shit this year. It's made even more dog shit by the fact that the Raptors don't get a game. I think we deserve a game. I think just as much as the Celtics. We were champions not only a year ago, but we're still a solid team. And there's
one of the best looking teams in the league if you're trying to put asses in seats.
That's right. And I think we could have gone up against Boston, or we could have gone up against the Nets, or the Heat. Any of those would have been good, would have been great. Or even throw us up against the West. Toronto versus the Lakers, Christmas Day.
Yeah, welcome to the fucking Electrodome.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been sick. We start preseason on the 12th, I think.
Yeah.
And we're going against the
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
So we'll see the new Ball brother.
Yeah, we'll see how he turns out.
Trash can.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it for the Six-Man Pod this week. You want to add anything else there?
Nope. We're
Terrance
getting
Davis.
cucked. Yeah, he's a bitch. We're getting cucked.
Yeah.
NBA.com, screw you. 15, that's dumb.
Yeah, between Tampa Bay jerseys, power rankings, and Christmas Day games, it's not good, but there's plenty to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think, again, actions speak louder than words, and the Raptors will outperform all of the expectations put on by people that have no clue about the team. And really, that we have the last laugh in those situations.
82-0, bitches.
82-0. That's the Six-Man Pod. We'll see you next time.